Thanks for watching. If you've stumbled across this video and you don't have an avocado making kit, just go to my Etsy store at Kate the Felter or click the link in the description.
Hi, thanks very much for joining me. My name is Kate the Felter and today I'm going to be showing you how to make one of these. So to make this lovely avocado, I'm going to be showing you two techniques today. The first is a wet rolling technique and the second is a dry needle felting technique. I'm going to take you through stage by stage so that by the end you should have something that looks just like this. I'd really like to see your work when it's done, so please feel free to tag me. I'm Kate the Felter on Instagram, or you can email me some photos to katethefelter@gmail.com. So in your packs, we're going to start off with our wool mixes. So we're going to need our backing wool, which is this brown one. Then you're going to need your blue mix, which forms the background colour. And then you're going to need your green mix and your brown, orange and white for the centre stone. So that's all you'll need for stage one. Just get that in front of you and we will make a start. So first thing I'd like you to do is I'd like you to divide this backing wool into 4 equal piles. Don't have to be too exact with this, just roughly equal. You're going to take one of them and you're going to spread it across like this as evenly as you can. Don't want to have any big holes in it, until you get to about 8 inches, and then we take another of our sections, and this time, so last time we spread it out vertically, now I'm going to twist and go horizontally. So I don't know if you've done much weaving before, but what we're kind of creating here is like a warp and a weft, which makes the felt stronger to spread it out in different directions. We really want to get it spread out nice and evenly though, because if you don't do it evenly, you can get holes in the final piece. Now for our kind of lovely blue, it almost looks like seawater or something like that as our background, to spread the wool super thin. So just with your fingertips pull it apart so you just get this lovely little web almost of threads. So important to do this as thin as possible. If you put your wool down too thick like this, when it comes to felting it later with the water, it's very difficult to get it to stick down, so you end up with bits falling off, or someone could literally just pull that bit off. If you do it nice and thin, you have a lovely robust piece of fabric, no one's going to be pulling off those bits. So we're going to start building the avocado. So I want you to get your darkest green wool, so this is my darkest green colour in my pack, and I want you to rip a piece off as thin as possible. That is so important when it comes to felt making, that you take nice thin pieces. So take another thin piece. I'm going to shape it like avocado shape, so you can see you've got your kind of crescent moon shape at the bottom and then it narrows up towards the top. So you should have something like that now. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take this light green, so the lightest green that you have in your pack. It's a bit more coarse, this one, so it's perfect for building up background, and you're going to fill in the middle of your avocado with thin bits. You notice that I'm not really doing much in the middle because that's where our stone's going to be, so you don't really need to do much. Every now and again I'll just give it a bit of a press like this, kind of helps stick everything down so it's not so easily pulled away, and then just adjust my shape back, make sure it's all that nice shape, tuck it in a bit there. Right, okay, now I love this one. we're going to add our lime green, and again we're going to take a super thin layer and we're just going to spread it out between our fingers and join it to that outer edge like that. So you can see now it's really starting to get more avocado-y, isn't it? Lovely. Again, we just keep building up the layers. Give it a little press. I think I'd like to put a really thin layer of that right into the middle as well. It's really just like little strands at this point. Honestly, the thinner you can get these layers, the better it will look. Right, I think now you need to add a little bit more of this outer green colour. Kind of blend the two together a bit more. I'm going to go back now to this layer and I'm just going to pop a bit more on. Let's add a little bit of this middly kind of green colour. You'll have a mixture of greens in your pack, so just have a look and think, which greens do you need more of around the edges? The darker ones towards the edge, and then get lighter as you go into the middle. So let's pop a bit of that yellow one now. So we really, you see how thin that is? Pop that on. Thin as you can be. And it really does take it to a whole new level. I feel like they're beautiful kind of oil paintings at this stage. And it feels like real artistry. Okay, so now take your orange, rip a thin strip again. If you do it too thick, you're going to come into trouble later on. Spread it out nice and thin. And then you're going to kind of curve it round to make a circle shape before you even put it down inside the avocado. You see that? And then we pop him in like that. But obviously the colour of the avocado stone is not usually orange. This is like a base colour to give it that beautiful kind of shine. And I think what we can do is if we take a little bit of your yellow and you blend together the orange and the yellow like this. So we've got a nice little orange and yellow blend. And we're just going to put a tiny bit of that inside as well. Now we need our brown here. And we're going to make our brown into a nice little circle as well. So a thin strip of brown. Try and make it so it's thicker on one side than on the other, so that then when you put it on, you get that lovely
appearance of light and dark. You see there? This is art now we're making. Let's add some more light and dark areas. So we're going to take a tiny bit of white, twist it kind of together in your fingers. Again, thin as possible to start with, otherwise it's just not going to stick down. And then we're going to put a little bit of white there. So now it's time to just look at this beautiful creation you've made for a minute and think, am I completely happy? I think that here there isn't enough of a blend between the lime green and the middle. I'm going to take my darker colour again and I'm going to layer that on top. It's all about layering. The more layering you do, the better your final piece will look. Just going to have a quick look at this one and see. I like this, you know. Now, hopefully you've got a bit of brown left from your stone, and I'm going to add a bit of brown around my edge for that distinctive kind of avocado skin, and that again is just going to help to add definition and a bit of, you know, realism to the work that you're doing. I think he's starting to look like a sexy avocado now, to be honest. I hope you do as well. I hope yours is looking great. I'm sure it is. Okay, I think that that is ready for felting.
Hello, welcome to part 2. So today we're going to do the wet rolling. So I'm just going to show you the setup. On the bottom, to cover your work surface, you need your big towel. Over the top of that, you need a smaller towel or a tea towel. Then your bubble wrap. Over the top of that, your felting, which you're going to very carefully put on, and your netting. So if you can just get that ready and we will make a start. Okay. So start off by grabbing your washing up liquid and just giving it a thin drizzle over the top of your felt. Not too much, no more than what you can see here, otherwise you're just going to have a bubbly mess and it's going to be really annoying. And then very, very carefully you're going to pour little drips of hot water over. Okay, now you can see some of the edges didn't have quite enough water on them. See there, they're still a bit raised and fluffy. Just pop a bit more water on. What you're now going to do is you're going to roll up as tightly as you can the bubble wrap, the felt and the netting. Don't worry about any water squeezing out. Then you're going to wrap that roll in your smaller towel so you have a nice sausage shape. And then what you're going to do is kind of like kneading. You're going to roll your felt. We're going to very carefully open up the felt and have a look and see if those fibres have been a bit naughty and started moving. And as you can see, oh, it looks a little bit of a funny shape. So we're going to need to very carefully peel back like that, lay it all out flat again. And we're going to carefully put everything back just with the tip of our finger where it should be, so you can see
we've lost our kind of avocado shape here. So we just need to spread that round. This stage is very important. Do not skip it, because otherwise you'll just end up with the wrong shape at the end. Okay, I'm going to do this stage a few times throughout the process. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put our net back over the top, pour over the hot water again, and do a bit more rolling. I'm going to unroll it again. So you can see it's all scrunched up, that's a good sign. Everything's getting bonded together from the heat and the friction. When you start to feel the netting get stuck to the surface, that's also a really good sign. But you're going to need to be at this for a good 20 to 30 minutes to get it fully bonded. Okay, so I've opened it back out. Right, so again, I feel that I've lost that kind of avocado shape. This time, I think we should do another little bit of washing up liquid before we add some more hot water again, and when we roll it up really tightly. The tighter you roll it, the better your felting will be. So just a thin layer. Drizzle of water. You can be a bit more slapdash with it than you were the first time, because those fibres aren't going to move as much now. Pat it all down, roll it up nice and tight, and I think a good 5 to 6 minutes solid rolling this time. Go for it. Here's a nice little technique to really get it nicely felted, get those fibres all bonded together. So keeping it nice and tight, you take your hands and you just quite vigorously move it like this. And that really, really helps with the process. Okay, another couple of minutes on that. Right, so your arms should be a bit tired now from 5 minutes or even 6 of constant rolling. So let's see what we've got. I've got more hot water as well, because I think my water's gone a bit cold, so you should check yours too. Ooh, it feels firmer, so that's good. Let's see if we get that nice pull on the netting. Excellent. I've not been slacking, I promise. There we go. That is the proof. That is a great sound. Okay, so now we pull her out again, flatten her out. Don't know why, given my avocado a female persona, but there we go. That's just, I feel she is a girl. Okay, right, so what do we reckon? I think we'll just do one quick bit of tucking in around here. Sorry, shaky. Again, it's quite, I can feel quite a lot of washing up liquid in there, so let's not add any more this time. Let's just add more hot water, and let's just do another 5 to 6 minutes of rolling. Remember that technique where we go quite vigorously. Give that a go, and then I think that will be done then. I bet your arms are tired now. Okay, right, I think we should unroll it. So open it out. Okay, I'll hold it up for you because I know you probably can't see. Right, it's shrunk a lot, which is good. That's exactly what we want. That means it's bonded together. And I'll hold it up for you. So don't be afraid to kind of give it a good tug. So it's a bit wet, so that affects the kind of colours, but here is your felted avocado. So what you're going to do now is you're going to run it under the cold tap very gently until all the suds come out of it, and then you're going to leave it either to dry on the washing line or just out on the side, or you can dry it with a hairdryer for about, I don't know, about 15 to 20 minutes if you want to carry on making now. I'm probably going to leave mine to dry overnight tonight. and then I'll be with you to do the next stage where we take the flat avocado like this into the nice fluffy avocado. If you're really happy with yours flat though, feel free to leave it how it is. I'm just going to show you both techniques and then you can kind of work out what's best for you. Alright then, I hope it's gone well, hope you're happy with what you've made. Go and have a rest. Hello, I'm back. So we're going to do the final stage today. So we're going to take our avocados from this, which should be nice and dry now, to this. So to do that, you're going to need your piece of foam, which will not be as ratty as mine. Mine is very well used. That is something to note actually. You can keep using your piece of foam for future projects. Mine, as you can see, is very well used. You're going to need your needle felting needle, and finally your envelope with the wool that we're going to need today. Alright, so make sure you've got all that in front of you and we'll make a start. We're going to add some dry wool onto our avocado now. I just think it gives it a really lovely finishing effect. Sometimes I used to find that I was a little disappointed with how my avocado or my felt project looked after the wet rolling, when it looked so sumptuous and delicious with the dry felt on. So I've just started in my work, my own personal work as well, to do this stage, and I wish someone had told me about this when I was first starting out. We're going to get our avocado and we're going to take our lightest felt here, and we're still working really nice and thin, just like we did on the first project, and we're going to put it around the edge of the stone like that. And we're just going to do it section by section. So I've put that on there. Then you're going to take your felting needle and you're just going to very gently pierce the surface like that. So we're just going to build up those layers. So I'm going to go around and do that now. So you might look at this technique and think, well, hang on a minute, why did we go to all the effort of laying out all the fibres for the felt and trying to make it look as realistic as possible at the beginning? Why don't we just do it all like this? Now, I've experimented with that myself, but I think through experimentation, this is the best way to do it. It looks so much nicer to try your hardest and through every stage and then build on top, rather than to do the whole project with the dry needle felting, because we've got a really nice background to work on top of. Okay, so I'm going to go around that. I'm not going to make you watch me do all of that. So I'll get that done and then we'll do the next bit together. So you can see now I've just gone around the edge, the centre stone, and up a little bit towards here. Now you'll get a few stray little bits of wool going into that centre stone. Just push them back with the needle and push the needle in a little bit. Okay, now you're going to take your mid-tone green, just like we did in the previous stages, adding layers as thin as possible. I'd say that was kind of maximum thickness that you'd be wanting, and start to layer that around your edges. Okay, so I've added my outer layer now, the mid-tone green, and I can see that I'd like to do a bit more blending between my lightest green and this layer here. So I'm going to start taking my lightest green, placing it on, and doing more of the needle felting up here and around this edge here. So I moved up my lighter green up here, and now I'm starting to add some of the mid-level, mid-tone green over the top of that. I think it would be nice, this one here has some lovely lime green added into it, so let's add a bit of that lime green in. So you only still need tiny amounts, nice thin layer of the lime green, pop that in. I'm not sure about putting it at the bottom, I think it looks kind of nicer towards one side like that, but you have a play around, see what works best for you, but I like it like that. Now I've put some yellow in for you as well, because I think yellow works really nicely. Just tiny amounts though. That's gorgeous, I think. So I'm going to give you and me a bit of time to kind of fiddle now. Okay, so I've kind of added a few bits until I'm happy with it. So I added more of the light green across here, a bit of yellow up here, a bit more of the mid green around this section. Doing this third stage is a really good opportunity to kind of bring back the shape of your avocado if you lost it slightly. I added a little bit of yellow on for the top of the lime green here, which is something, yeah, definitely have a go at because I think it looks really nice. You can take your finger as well and you can just bring out that centre stone. So now what we'll have a go at doing is we'll add a bit of the dark green around the edge and some brown around the edge. So very similar technique again. However, this time I want you to take your dark green and kind of twist it between your fingers. I'm sorry about my horrible nail polish. Twist it so it kind of stays together a bit more. And then place it around your edge. You don't want it going too far from that edge. Okay, so I've added my brown, I've gone all around my edges, I've just left one little section here because I think it's quite nice to sometimes leave some bits without the outline around the edge. So now it's up to you whether you want to add any more to your stone. I'm really happy with the blend I've got between the brown and the orange. If I was going to add anything, I would perhaps experiment with adding a new highlight. So I'll have a go at that. Again, if you don't like it, you can take it off. Well, I have to say I'm really happy with how that turned out. We've got our close-up here, our blending between our tones. I hope yours has turned out well and you're happy. If you need any help, you can always contact me at katethefelter@gmail.com, and I'm always available on Instagram too at katethefelter.
Oh, thank you so much for joining me to make this avocado today. I really hope that you're happy with your results. They look brilliant like this, but they look even better in a frame like this. I just wanted to show you that quickly. If there's anything else that you'd like to learn how to make, just write it down into the comments. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you've enjoyed this video and it's been helpful. And also if you'd like to see more of my personal work, you can find me at Kate the Felter on Instagram. All that's left now to do is, as you can, it's upside down, and it's going to have a lovely place up on a wall somewhere. So, Hello, welcome back. So you should have. Thank you so much for joining me to make these avocados today, and I really hope. Right, if you go, I'll go stand there and see if I can.
So I'm just using that vigorous technique. Talky, 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 rolly, rolly, rolly.